Hello there. This is Witchcraft Wednesday, and what are we going to do on Witchcraft Wednesday? I'm going to tell you something someone has asked, and I thought this would make actually a good thing for Witchcraft Wednesday. How to undo spells. Now, if you have performed an act of magic, a spell, firstly I will tell you this. Learn to live with it, if you can. Alright? The act of undoing a magic that you have performed shows to the universal mirror, which we call the universe, that you are incompetent. Please do not be alarmed by that. It is still perfectly safe to erase spells and undo them if you can. However, you can create more damage. What are the cases in which we wish to undo a spell? Well, oftentimes when we are trying to fill a chasm, or we create a chasm to fill. Yet, to undo it means something must take its place. You cannot be sure what that will be. Undo the spell by all means. But what takes its place may be worse. Learn to live with it, if you can. Correct your wrongs by taking that which you have made, you have structured and formed, sculpted, and make it better, make it work for you. There are those in life who have disabilities, yet they make those disabilities play to the strengths that they have. They make their life play to those strengths. I would highly recommend doing the same. However, it is not always possible. People could get hurt, especially if you've really fucked up. So, if it is something in the way of an image, a jar, an effigy, first thing you need to remember is, if you have made a jar, if you have made a box, don't open it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? No. Don't just casually open it. It's not going to help you. You've made a doll, a puppet, an effigy. If you have constructed a charm of some kind, if there is the elements of a spell left, do not burn it. Burning such things will not always, usually, get rid of it. As a matter of fact, burning something will merely increase its potency. Why is that? Well, it's very much the same way of sigil work. Sigils are incredibly useful. They are two-dimensional effigies that we create. They are thought forms that hold meaning pertinent to us. But it is in the forgetting of these sigils, or their meaning at least, is where they gain power. Yes, I believe I've done a subject on sigils before, Patron, and that's what I mean. So, when you burn something, you are eradicating the memory of it. It may be a slow thing, but over time it will increase in potency. Also, what you have done is you have wiped out any form of physical attachment to tether the spell that you could work with. You've just made your job twice as hard. We are quick to turn to fire, being human beings. Fire cleanses, fire eradicates. It wipes out all form of sin, doesn't it? If you really don't know what to do something, if you really don't want it around at all, burn it, incinerate it, reduce it to ash. It's a wonderful thing, just to wipe it clean. However, when it comes to your spell work, I'm here to tell you that is not always a good thing. Now, so if you are doing spell work, once again, if you have remnants of that spell work that you are doing, keep it close by. There's another one. Just keep it close by. Put it in a jar, a box, a bowl, anything. Just don't throw it out just yet. All right? The unraveling comes next. Unraveling, picking such things apart, is an important, crucial part of spell work and undoing it. If you have a puppet, you will disassemble the puppet. You will kill it. Unmake. This is the thing. You are not destroying any form of spell. You are unmaking it. You are reversing it. And you cannot simply just start at the bottom. No, you start at the top where you finished and you unstructure it. Right? So firstly, look at the spell, the nature of the spell. Put down on paper what it is I tried to do. Yes? Then we'll put down what has happened. Yes? Then we make a Venn diagram. And within the center of between these two things, you see what you can change. Now, what is left out is more important than what you can change. You fucked up, and that's okay. But when you fuck up trying to correct your fuck up, that's when I will be disappointed in you, and most people will be, and you should be disappointed in yourself. For instance, yes, let's say a jar, a witch bottle. Yeah, witch bottle is a good one. Anyone know what a witch bottle is? What it does? It stores, holds. It's a decoy of yourself that will draw any form of attack, negative attachment to it, hold it in there, and actually reflect backwards on the person who cast it or entrap the entity that is trying to hurt you. So naturally, what is the one thing you don't do with a witch bottle? Anyone? You don't open it. It's very clear. Because you are unmaking it, you see? But you are unmaking it in the worst possible way. So, what do you do with a witch bottle? First thing we must remember. The symbology of the life around you is what holds significance. If enough people believe something, there is power within it. A cliche, a hallmark card, yes, but true. Hence cemeteries. Hallowed ground is a place that is rich in the dead, but also has been prayed over, has had so much belief and store within it, even in those in the knowledge that lay in their decaying blood and bone and bodies. Leaks, seeps into that earth. So when we put something, when you want something to die, to lay to rest, to be at peace, not eradicate, to be at peace, where do you take it? To a cemetery. The older the cemetery, the better. Why is this? I just explained. Because the more bodies go into it, the more belief, the more that which is stored within it, the more that seeps into that soil, the more energy in the way of a pattern, an imprint on that place, the stronger the power. It's really old, especially if it's in England, and it's probably a sacred pagan site as well, which is also good. Bury it there. You can leave such things there, but is it worth someone else finding? Oh, wait. Now, someone else may find things. And don't get me wrong, it is a fantastic thing to do if you have something that is wrong, that is twisted, corrupted by some outside influence that holds no energetic tether to you. It could be weaponized, certainly. But what of a witch bottle, that which holds your own DNA, that hold your own imprint. No. Someone may open it, sure, but it's not going to attack them. It's not going to harm them. It's going to come straight back to you, because it's been stuck in that bottle with a piece of you for all that time. So, way of puppets and such things, you can bury them if you wish there to be peace, if you wish there to be gone, eradicated, buried. Yes? Makes sense. A crossroads is also good. Why is the crossroads good? Well, this brings us down to the goddess, the mother of witches, Hecate. She is the goddess of witchcraft, yes, but of crossroads, passing places and doorways. Not just the doorways of the living. The crossroads holds an important place for witches. Why? It is also a very good place where basically things are held. Things that are lost. All lost things gravitate towards the crossroads. Stuck within that place, the liminal, yeah? Well, what you have here is basically a representation of what they used to do with people who were considered vampiric. Actual vampires. Whether they were, probably not, but back then they believed that they were. What did they do with them? They buried the body deep beneath a crossroads. The idea of the cross to keep them in place, but so that they may not find their way back to those who put them there. The same would work for any form of a spell, the remnants of one, that perhaps has gone awry. Just remember to leave an offering for the witch mother. What garlic is something she prefers. Henbane is good too. Liquor, red wine particularly as well. Flowers, all sorts, especially those that are mauve in colour or white perhaps. It's good. Money can work as well. I just find it a bit cheap. She's a goddess, not a stripper. But each to their own. Now, so it's a good way of leaving things that we do not want to follow us at crossroads. Remember, do not look back. And whatever you do, do not look back over your left shoulder. This is an old thing that was taught to me, but there is some truth in this. The left side and the right side. The right side is that of the mundane. The left side is that in the way of the ethereal. To look back over your left is an affront to most forms of spirits that can hold things for you. They will simply follow you back. The next thing. Now, if you wish to get rid of something, a river is also incredibly useful. Fast running, for you wish to get rid of it quickly, yes? If you can do it, the river should be running from east to west. Why is this? Well, the sun rises in the east and it dies in the west, yes? So, therefore, you wish it to be taken away towards the setting of the sun. Anything that you may have in the way of spell stuff, put it in that river. It is the same in the way of the burial. People are buried with their feet facing the east, because when the Christians took over, they said, well, these people are going to come back from the dead, and all these zombies are going to want to see the light when they wake up. So that's what they did. It was actually, before that, a Muslim thing. It was an Islamic tradition to do this before Christian. Did you know that? Christians never did that. They had prone burials, but people were usually just buried any which way that they could. They adopted it from Islamic religion. There's evidence in that in Turkey. Anyway, so that's another way, okay? All of these, I beseech you, all of these should be considered before resorting to fire. because not one fire is the same. Fire is a living entity that must be cautioned with. Okay? What wood you use to bake your fire is also incredibly important. Yeah? Do you know what I do if there's something I really don't like, even if it's just a name on a piece of paper? Do you know what I do? I flush it down the toilet. I know. But think about it. The toilet is the symbol. It joins up to an underground river of shit, of waste, stuff that no one wants, anyone wants. And it gets rid of it. You flush it away. You don't want it anymore. It's perfect and it's right there. It's convenient. I'm not saying don't use the other methods, but when it comes to other certain things like that, by all means, get creative with it. Be practical as well with how you do these things. So, there's a few things that you can do, all right? There are many different other things. So there is means of burial by earth. Earth is a long-winded, sort of deep-rooted thing in the way of getting rid of something or undoing something, okay? However, it is probably the most effective. That which goes to the earth, and regardless of how potent in energy, will eventually be broken down to its bare form, cleansed in a sense, right? Water is a cleansing element, and it carries, it's a wonderful medium in that sense. Naturally, throwing something into the sea or into a river could also do the same, into a lake could also do the same job. Whatever. And then naturally there is also air. Air in that essence isn't as useful. You can cast something to the wind, sure, but where is it going to go? It's unpredictable in this essence. Okay, so do not worry too much about that. In all seriousness, it is most likely air that has caused this problem in the first place. For air is that of communication and thought, and the communication and thought means that it was your fault. It is a user error, almost 99% of the time when a spell goes wrong. Don't feel bad. If you didn't fuck up, you wouldn't get better, would you? Exactly. So, there you have it. Smoke cleansing, as we know, smoke cleansing is remarkably wonderful, very good. That is a mode of air, I suppose, in cleansing, but I also consider that to be fire, naturally. So, don't worry about that. Whatever you do, don't just cover it in salt and then just throw it away. Like, as long as you have the remains of that spell, you're gold. It's when you start getting stupid with it, when you do a spell and you immediately throw everything away, or when you do a spell and then you decide, oh no, it's gone wrong, I'm going to burn it, or put it in the bin. It's not going to help you in the long run, because those remnants of that spell you could have used to fix the problem immediately. It's like throwing away the receipt after a bad purchase. Yeah. So, anyways, there's some ideas. Honestly, when it comes to the graveyard, I would almost opt for the graveyard every time, especially if a spell turns really nasty. Bury it, okay? Bury it in a graveyard. Bury it under a tree in a graveyard. But stick it in the wall almost, on the inside of the graveyard, in between the cracks, whatever you can. Ultimately, if you can contain something in the way of inside a jar, something like that has backfired, be honest with you, keep it in your arsenal and send it to someone else. You never know when you may need it. You never know. Some people do that. I'm not going to say it's the wrong thing to do, because ultimately it's no different from sending someone something that is painful in the post even, to just performing a painful spell against them. If you're going to be morally wrong, you then be morally wrong. Don't pussyfoot about it. It's premeditated or not. So, anyways, I hope you find this helpful. That's pretty much all you need to know, really, in the way of getting rid of something and undoing a spell. You must dismantle it if it is something in the way of a construction. If it is a vessel, do not open it, because that vessel alone is what contains things are going to get a lot worse. Do not burn it. Okay. If you really don't know how to build a protective fire, which is one that you would build out of birch, ash, blackthorn, then do not do it. Ultimately, bury the damn thing, pick the damn thing apart and cast it into an east to west running river that preferably is fast. There you have it. And if it's just the remnants of a spell in the way of wax and certain things like that, treat it exactly the same. Wrap it up, perhaps place a protective seal upon it in some way, or a rune or something that you construct yourself, and bury it also. As I said, you're not trying to undo something here. If the damage is done, the damage is done. You are now doing damage control, trying to limit what's going to actually go wrong. All right? I hope this helps you. Love you all. Have a wonderful week or whatever, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.